Welcome to Rich on the Road Across America.
Hey there, it's Rich here. The build today is I'm wanting to put a solar panel on top of the trailer here. That'll allow me to put a generator in front of it where the cooler normally sits, catch some solar rays, power up that generator, and have power at night in the tent. Because it's sitting on the trailer, I don't want it to jar really hard. So I've kind of rigged up a little contraption here. It's a bolt. On the bottom, I have a big washer. Then I've put a spring. And inside, I've put a second bolt, another washer, and another bolt. The bolt inside will stop this from squeezing down any further than that, but it will create a little bit of a shock absorber to allow the solar panel to sit on top of this and to vibrate a little bit on the road, to take some of the absorb some of the shock from the road. But right now I've already drilled 4 holes into the top of the trailer and put some bolts here that line up with the rim around the solar panel. So here we have the solar panel. It is a Harbor Freight 100 watt Thunderbolt solar panel, and that's going to sit on top of the trailer. And I'll show you the backside and how the shock absorbers are going to attach to it. Here's the backside of the solar panel. And on the back, there are little holes here. The shock absorber is going to go inside the hole. And then this will be the top of the trailer. It will fasten to the trailer. So there's my first test fitting. You see the bolts are right here and here going into the frame. This is on top of the trailer. Let me get you a little closer. As you can see, that's where the springs will fit in. I'm going to figure out where the bolt needs to cut. Cut the top of it off, rethread it, and then I'll put the springs on and rebolt it back onto here. And I'll have my floating solar panel. So for a first rough fitting proof of concept, now you can see springs on here, and you can see this can now go up and down a little bit on the spring. I'll have to adjust remember I told you there's a second bolt in here that will stop it from going down too far. I'll have to adjust that. But right now, get you a side view. I like that. I mean, I think that's going to take some absorbing some of the bumps out of the road and protect the crystalline surface of the solar panel from, in my head, to scavenging some parts at Lowe's, Home Depot, to try to make it work. It's come out pretty good. I'm happy with it so far. So the proof of concept is installed. I'm going to have to come back and finalize everything. I'm going to have to adjust the nuts that limit my travel of the shock absorber here. I'll try to fix those. I'll finalize the little rubber grommets, put some caulk around it, bolt everything down good and tight, put some Loctite on the nuts so they don't vibrate loose. But overall, it's here. It's mounted on top of the trailer. It has a little bit of a downward slope. My thought on that is as wind hits it, it'll have a downward force on it. If it was tilted up, it might have a lifting force on it. So I tried to tilt it down the front a little bit more. You can still open the top. It stays open on its own with the hydraulic shocks on it. That was a fear I had, that maybe those hydraulics weren't strong enough to hold the weight of the solar panel and the top, but it does just fine. Then I've got a generator coming next week, and I'll be able to connect the cable here from the solar panel to the generator. It's going to go inside of a weatherproof box, so I can drive in rain or anything like that and not have to worry about damaging it. But I can open the box, take the generator out, go into the tent, plug in all my electronics, and recharge my phones, my cameras, watch some movies, do whatever I need to in the tent, and then come back, plug it back in the next morning, start driving, soak up the rays, recharge the generator, and do it again the next day. Solar panel on a trailer behind the motorcycle. Let's go to California. Well, hello. This is next week from putting the solar panel on. I now have the EcoFlow River 2 generator hooked up by cable to the solar panel. And something I found out that if you're considering this, it might help you also. When the wires come from the solar panel with this SAE connection,
the polarity is actually reversed. And you have to get this little adapter that reverses the polarity before it plugs into the SAE that comes with the River 2 generator. When I'm traveling, I know there's going to be a lot of bouncing up and down, and the instructions actually say, you know, don't vibrate this a lot. Luckily, the packaging that comes with the generator fits perfectly inside of this waterproof Harbor Freight Apache 3800 box. I mean, perfectly into this. The foam goes on the bottom from the packaging, and then I've got foam that sits on the left and the right hand side of the generator. So when I close the top, it's holding it good and solid, but it will absorb a lot of the shock. Something else that I have done, there is a fan on the back of the generator to keep it cool, but I wanted to assist that and keep it a little bit cooler. So I've put a 12-volt fan on the side of the box. And out here, I've put a little vent hood that allows the fan to blow the air out. And on this side, I have an open hole with another vent hood that just allows it to draw air in. It allows it to draw air in. So I'm drawing air in from this side, across the generator, to the fan, and out the other side. And the hoods will hopefully keep any rain or water from getting inside of the box. I had to cut a hole in the back of the box. Let me turn this around and I'll show you that. I had to put a hole in the back of the box to allow the wire to come out and go up to the solar panel. And I used a electrical, I don't know what this is called, rubber grommet hood. I've had the trailer right here for an hour, and the slope is actually facing north, and optimal would be that it's facing the opposite direction, south. I did this on purpose because when I'm riding, I have no control over which way the solar panels will be facing. So I thought I'd do the opposite of what it says to do, just to see what happens. Well, it's been sitting here for an hour with the generator fan running the entire hour. So in less than optimal situations, it looks like it's going to gain power versus lose power. Running the fan inside the box had me concerned. It's a 12-volt fan, and I was concerned that it might be drawing more power than the solar panel can gather. So facing north, leaning north, it's actually gain percentage on the battery, so that's good. So what I'm gonna do now is turn it around, let it face south with the fan running for 1 hour, and see how that works. You can see that it's a cloudy day, overcast, there's the sun. I've had the trailer outside today, and I've left the fan running inside the box all day long, and I've turned it facing north, south, east, and west. I've rotated around every hour, and regardless of which way it's tilting, it's collecting energy and charging the battery. So that's really promising. I'm up to 93% on the battery, and I believe that's from 63 to 93 in 3 hours with a 12-volt fan running inside this box the entire time. So that's really promising, really happy about that. Partly cloudy this morning, sunny this afternoon, 88, 90 degrees. UV has been at 6, so an average type of day. So it's really nice. I've used the same logic on the generator rack, which is the cooler rack of the trailer. I've put springs on a little platform here, mounted it to the rack, and now I can set the generator on top of the springs, and it will vibrate and bounce with the road, but it'll give less shock to the generator itself since they don't want it to vibrate. Got the foam in here to pad it inside also, but I thought that the springs would add a little more. So now I have springs of the generator and springs on the solar panel too. For a final recap, I have the Ultra Tow trailer, the Thunderbolt 100-watt solar panel with shocks on the underneath the solar panel, the EcoFlow River 2 generator inside of a watertight box. In the box, I have a fan on this side to pull air in through this little hood, across the generator and back out that side through a hood. And under the generator, I have shocks on it too. I think I'm ready for California. Later this week, I will be going to the Ozarks. I'll be going through Missouri and Arkansas and back into Tennessee. And that'll be the first time out with the solar panel and seeing how that works overnight in the tent. So let's go, guys.
I may be poor, but I'm rich on the road across America.